Yeah, that's fine. I can watch it.
You're bad now.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
It's in the bag.
It's in the 30 seconds to battle.
Starting items are fine. I mean, honestly, I hope with the rune gold you send out another set of tangos before finishing your bracing.
This be about it.
Kind of a bad Q to press here. This Q doesn't do anything. You probably get the mana back for the most part, but in general I wouldn't do that. You're way too far away here. Your lion is standing on your left. You don't need to back up this far. You're like giga over respecting the strength of the heroes that are there. Like, he's gonna walk in, right? You want to contest this creep, yeah? The most important creeps in the wave are right here. You're like walking a gajillion miles away. I know you feel like slightly pressured, but taking like 1 or 2 auto attacks and make sure you can contest the range creep is a trade that you're willing to make every time. You don't need to back up that far. Just need to be aware of where your boy's standing. Like here, you see how these creeps are both in deny range? This happens because you like before this wave, you pulled those creeps too far and then you weren't close. That's why they're low. Then you're forced to use a Q to get the creep. You let them connect or what? Let's see. Oh no, they didn't connect, okay. You're definitely owning him on CS. Alright, your line has no HP, he's probably gonna soak you under tower, because this is a 4 experience. We only missed 1 creep under T1, that's fine. Yeah, your CSing is good here. Get some free damage. I guess the Witch Doctor was pulling. We go for the Lotus play, maybe? I don't know if he's gonna get it or not, but getting a Lotus in these types of lanes is always really good. You should always play for it if you can, because your wave's up. I think he did get it. He ate it himself. It's kind of weird. Hold on. We missed some creeps. This is actually a pretty big mistake right here. When this happens, your creep right here is getting hit, right? So what you could do in this situation is you could walk in here, right? Like walk to this part, click him, pull the creeps off of your range when it gets into deny. That way you don't lose the 2 extra creeps. And when like these things walk up like this, you also end up in a situation where not only do you lose 2 creeps, but the wave ends up being farther up the lane because these 2 creeps stop here, right? They stop by the tower, and then they are stuck on your on the opponent's wave. So when you're in this position and you know that you have like a big wave is kind of coming into you, but you have like both heroes and this other guy's like fucked off somewhere, drag these creeps off of your range when it gets into deny, so you can get the free deny and then you don't end up with the situation that happens after. This doesn't seem like a big thing, but this is a problem, right? Because it immediately forces your response. And then you have to walk up the lane, and now your creeps are going to be stuck for like a million seconds. Yeah, see, this wave would not be in tower range if you did that. Now that it's in tower range, it's going to ricochet right back. And if you think about it in terms of how many creeps were there, you could theoretically deny like this whole wave from the PL, right? And this is a bounty wave too, which means that you're giving him more value because you let those creeps walk away. Like, you might out CS him anyway, because the CSing seems pretty bad. But you definitely could have got the bounty creep killed. And you also would have had a much nicer lane position from where you are right now. Because right now you're like kind of pseudo double waving him and you're going back into his tower. And it's not nighttime yet, so you can't really pressure the lane. Yeah, that never changes, Sloth. Every 4 and 5 is insanely horrendous in the bracket. Don't ever expect your support to do good stuff for you. Just don't. It's a really, really bad mentality to have. Assume that they are going to grief you non-stop for the entire game, because they will. And when they don't, you'll be pleasantly surprised. But I'd say like 80 to 90% you're gonna get griefed. Okay, this is kind of weird. We definitely we never do this. This, like, we know that the nighttime is coming, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be standing so far forward. Like, you're trying to play this timing, which is fine. But if your lion is not next to you, you're not killing anybody. Like, the dynamic that you're creating here is that you are 2k range away from your support, and the PL is on the right, and the Witch Doctor is on the left, and you have no silence. So if you ever wanted to go for a kill in this lane, your lion needs both spells, and you probably also need this to be skilled. So since you don't have this, and you're standing really far away from where the lion is, you just want to hit creeps. Like, you get a courier, that's just, like, circumstantial, right? You didn't actually know the courier was going to be there. Like, this is fine. Like, what you're doing there is good. But chasing the Witch Doctor to lose 2 creeps is bad. You don't want to do that. Like, this is fine. Like, this whole, like, denying creeps sitting by the tower. Let's see, we get a kill here, maybe? Do a little trading. Ooh. Okay, it got bad. Yeah, this is a big mistake. When you get hit by that Maledict, you cannot tank tower. Like, this point, you should already be turning around. This ability cannot be underestimated. And you dying in the first night phase, and, like, you're missing a couple more creeps as well. Like, you're always thinking about what value you're getting in the first, like, 8 minutes of the game. You're all about value, right? So you have a lot of CS. You have, like, 50% more than the PL, which is fine. But you could have, like, probably 5 to 10 more CS if you played for the lane more than playing for kills. You know? Like, this guy, this guy doesn't even have Hex, right? Now, I don't know if you knew this or didn't. I can't tell by how the game's going. From your POV, you never clicked him. So I'm assuming that you didn't know he didn't have it. But if you play with Lion any amount, a lot of people are stupid and do this shit at low brackets. Fuck, they even do it in high brackets. They'll skip Hex. So you're thinking about what your best odds for killing are in the lane is for this guy to also have a Hex. So if he doesn't have it, I'm not even looking to play aggro. I'm just looking to deny every creep from the PL and farm next to my T1, because you have to think about what the PL can do about that, right? What can he do if you're just standing here and denying all the creeps and hitting all the CS under your own tier 1? The only play is that this guy tries to go for a pull. That's all they can do. But if you go in like this and you create like these chaotic moments, not only are you inviting the potential for like TP reaction, where the mid player could just TP and kill you and punish that, but now look, the PL is level 5. He got solo EXP for you dying, and now he has an empty lane. This is like the clouds fucking part and a ray of sunshine is just hitting the PL in the face right now, just fucking ah, you know, you don't want this to happen. We don't need to play this aggro shit. You could just be denying creeps and hitting creeps. You don't need to go for kills. Because you're still starving him on creeps, right? I would say that's a relatively huge mistake to make in the early game. Like, this one is fine because the guy already uses spells. You knew that Maledict was down, you knew that stun was down, you chose a better time to commit. So, like, that move is a lot less punishing than the first one. So I guess this is Klink's mid. No, wait, he has 15 CS. How's he level 6? Maybe Klink's 4? Maybe they're owning your top lane, I'm not sure. Alright, so we play back here. We got a big wave coming in. Let's try to hit as many of these as we can. So we got most of them. I mean, as far as mechanics go, your CSing is pretty solid for this level. Obviously, it can always be better. So we pop the ulti. We probably could have tanked a bit more tower there if we really wanted to try to find a real PL, but I respect the backing too. It's probably fine. Okay, we took the seeds. I don't mind that. Honestly, I'm a seed enjoyer. There's probably a better choice for Nightstalker at this stage in the game during night, but I'm totally okay with taking the seeds here. Alright, so we got hit by the Maledict, we got the PL kill. I mean, so far things are going pretty well. PL, our Invoker even TP for us, which is nice. We're body blocking the shot. Nice. I mean, this game is kind of autoplay right now. They're just running into the meat grinder on the enemy team. There's a Naga in your safe lane who's just free farming, and for some reason they're all running at you, so I'm not really sure what the gameplay plan is for them. Going for the Echo first, pretty standard. And we TP mid. Do I like this TP? I guess it's probably fine. Our team is actually killing right now. Oh my god, and you get an undefended 2-1. Okay, so I want to talk about this TP because, like, in a higher level game, this would never happen, right? You're not going to TP mid during daytime and get a completely unprotected tower, right? Like, someone is going to have a TP for this on the enemy team. So getting the creeps or whatever is one thing. If you just want to try to get the XP and gold, that's fine. But don't expect to be able to damage this tower. Naga's a smurf. I don't know. I haven't been watching his gameplay. Like, this is crazy that you just get to do this. We get a... Wait, when did we... How did we pop ulti here? Let me see. Okay, we popped it really late. Like, this ulti press is kind of useless. You push it as you were getting outside of tower range. You didn't need to push it there. Okay, they just walked into you and died anyway. That's fucking crazy. I would still say that this ultimate press is pretty bad, because you didn't actually need to press it at all. You were fine. They had no way to stop you from running away in the first place. The Clinks was going to get like one more auto attack. It was completely unnecessary. It was fortunate that the Witch Doctor walked in and just decided to feed you a kill. But again, that's like... You can't think in terms of the results. You have to think about like the theoretical application of what you actually did. Like, most of the time, you hit that ult, you run away, it does nothing, and then it's 2 minutes CD and it's daytime. Like, you're not going to get another night cycle until after your ulti is back up, so we want to be really careful about pushing that button unless, you know, we're absolutely certain that it's necessary. Because now, like, we don't have it, right?
They're unstoppable.
We still get a free killing skill, though. You just need to think about, like, if you're actually okay or you're not okay, you know? Maybe you just weren't... Like, obviously you weren't sure in the moment or you wouldn't have hit it. Like, this ulti is also, like, not necessary. We've hit, like, 2 unnecessary ults so far. Like, this fight is already won. Like, they're not gonna... Actually, maybe this one is okay. I didn't see that you had one guy not here. Yeah, actually, never mind. This one's fine. We were missing a hero. If you had your other support, I would say it was bad, but this one is actually okay. I mean, honestly, even if the Naga is a smurf, you guys are still stomping the game for him. Like, he hasn't really had to do anything, so... You guys are more or less just carrying the guy at this point. I would also say, on paper, this is an incredibly good NS game. Like, your hero just has no bad matchups on their team. You shit on all of their heroes real bad. Like, Hoodwink and Witch Doctor can do nothing to NS. If the NS is in their face and you have the Crippling Fear going, they just fall over. So, I don't know when you picked in this game, but Yeah, your hero just has really strong matchups. I like that you're not diving this too. That dive is giga risky. You can go on him now though. It's too far away from the tower. Okay, he's dead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You picked 8th, so you were second phase? Yeah. I'm guessing they open like Witch Doctor or Hoodwink or something?
Tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is fallen.
Yeah, I'd say really just like the big stuff. The big stuff in a game like this is just that if you can't kill, just play for the lane. Right, play for the wave, play for the creeps. Don't let yourself get distracted by shit that doesn't matter, and keep track of what abilities are being pressed. That'll help you decide what's going on. Like a good example is when the second time you went in on bottom, because the coconut and the maledict was down, those are the types of moves that you want to make consistently, but when everything is up, and like there's potential for TP reaction and stuff, you don't want to be playing hyper aggro, because Nightstalker can kind of just fall flat on his face if you end up in situations where like the mid player's TPing when you try to go for these aggressive moves and all the buttons are up. How's the build? I mean, I think Harpoon is fine because you guys are just insanely far ahead, right? In this type of game, they have very little CC for your hero. It's basically just bushwhack and stun from the Witch Doctor. So you don't really care about having BKB that much. You can still play the outside of the fights. And if you're on top of them, they're probably just dead anyway. So I would say this build is completely fine. If the game was a bit harder, and you needed more longevity in the fights, you could go for like BKB. You could probably even build something like she does, because it gives you armor, which is probably the only thing in this game that's going to kill you is physical damage. Like between the clinks and the peel hitting you later on, that's going to be like where a lot of the damage comes from. But if you're stopping the game this hard, you can probably put your you can put most stuff in your inventory and it's going to be fine. Because your hero just has such good matchups, right? It's very hard to fuck this one up. Is Harpoon like the overall best item? If you wanted the highest win rate, you could probably disassemble for BKB and buy one armor item and just be invincible, right? So you could think about it that way. Or you could just be like, yeah, Harpoon guarantees that I can basically just kill anybody, as long as I don't make a bad commitment. The thing about the BKB blink stuff is that you can play more aggressive because you don't actually have to worry about getting counter-killed when you're BKB'd, right? But this build requires better execution, because if you fuck up and you go in and get chain stunned by a cast, you could very easily just end up being dead, you know? So it just depends on how safe you want to be. If you're confident in your ability to take engagements because the enemy team lacks CC, like this, and you can just play the fights and shit, then, you know, it's fine. But if you feel scared, like, hey, if I overcommit, I could just super easily die, then you just go for the BKB, right? Necro would never be a problem in this game. Ever, ever, ever. He's playing against double range supports and an invoker. He will never be an issue. But yeah. I mean, honestly, like, overall, for this level of Dota, you played really well. Like, there was obviously stuff that happened that didn't need to happen, but that's every game and every bracket. And S was by far my highest, yeah. I would say dealing with aggression is something that people are very bad at. Not even just in Dota, but in most games. It's like if you have an aggressive playstyle and you know how to push your limits and stuff on a hero, you can accomplish a lot in a game. Because oftentimes Dota is not about what you're getting, it's about what you're taking away from the enemy, right? Especially as the offlane. Like, your job as the offlane is to make the one as miserable as possible, you know? You're trying to make that guy regret being in the game. And you also want to, like, in Nightstalker's case too, you were very good at bullying supports. Like, your hero is so good against their team. But this game is like giga fucking ogre. But yeah, that's about it. I think we're good to exit that one. But if you have any other questions about the game or whatever, I'm happy to answer. Yeah, but it's very dangerous thinking about like stuff that when you go to work, you don't do someone else's job, right? Like a graphic artist is not going to go try to do a programmer's job because the programmer fucked up, you know? The graphic artist is going to keep doing graphic art because that's what he's good at. It's the same thing in Dota. You don't want to deviate from your game plan as certain heroes because it will cripple your own game because you're trying to solve an issue that should not be an issue. So it's super dangerous to be changing what your idea is of the game. Like, super high level players will do that from time to time because there's something that absolutely needs to be addressed, but they also understand the risks and they understand what the item is for and they're going to play the timings and it's hopefully going to do what it's supposed to do, right? But there's a lot of times where if you do it in any other bracket, it's just going to feel really fucking bad and you're just going to grief yourself. Yeah, it's all good, Sloth. When do you pick Nightstalker? Against Hoodwink and Witch Doctor. That's when you pick him. %65% win rate Mars, not on a 52. Don't know if it's an Archon hero. My advice if you want to play Mars is just make sure that you're going for the Deso stuff. Like, don't get tricked into doing these fucking stupid-ass Blink builds into... like Vlad's Deso into like BKB and stuff, maybe even for going Blink completely depending on the draft, is just way more consistent. Just remember that you're in a bracket where solo carrying the game is so fucking easy if you just don't make dumb choices, right? Imagine playing in like any bracket outside of, let's say, like 7k plus, right? Maybe even 7ks are still kind of fucking idiots sometimes, but like they're idiots in different ways. But you don't want to put the agency of the game in somebody else's hands if you think you can win it for yourself, right? If you think you can win the game with a certain inventory, build that inventory as Mars. Just do it. Like, get Deso, get fucking, Vlad's, get AC, or get Satanic, like, whatever. Just build those items, and then scale your game. Especially if your lane is good, right? Why can I not patch? If your lane is insane and you're just like popping off and you like crushed the fucking safe laner into dust and you killed the T1 and you're just like, you're gigantic, just build the scale. Like, don't worry about doing this team fight shit. And never fucking buy any aura item that isn't Vlad's. You will literally grief yourself. Yeah, Vlad's is fine. Just don't do like any pipe buying. Don't do any fucking Crimson buying. Don't buy Greaves. Don't do any of that shit. Don't even buy a mech, Just fucking buy a Deso, kill creeps. Take good fights, take smart fights, and then just scale. I can't fucking patch my game, hold on. Main problem I have is I watch all these high ranked players and try to just do that in the super low ranked games. What are you seeing in the high ranked games that you're trying to do? Why not the other aura items? Because again, if you buy aura items, you are removing your own agency. Aura items also on Mars just feel really fucking bad in general. Think about it this way. The only time you're strong on Mars when you're playing him is when you have Arena, right? So every other time that you don't have Arena, you're a bitch. And during that downtime, you have to find a way to scale in the game so you're trying to hit creeps, right? To a certain degree. Obviously, every game's going to have like a metric and how much you're allowed to farm between fights. But Mars already does such low damage, right? Like, Mars damage is so fucking low that when you build stuff like Pipe or Crimson or Greaves, even when your arena is up, you no longer can kill a hero on your own. So if you can't kill a hero on your own with Arena, and nobody wants to group up with you, what do? Right? Because no matter what should happen in the game, stuff is going to happen that is really fucking stupid and bad all the time. Literally all the time. So why would you voluntarily put stuff in your inventory that gives you a higher margin of error from your own teammates than to just build the Deso and a BKB and just guarantee that you're going to kill somebody? If you have BKB Deso on Mars at like minute 20 because you had a crazy early game, you're killing anybody. Like, maybe there are some like offlaners and mids and stuff who are super chonky and won't die, but you're gonna kill everybody else, you know? It's why I never recommend buying ore items on that hero anymore. It's like a fucking Sekiro chest, man. What in the flying shit is this? Yeah, I'm talking about Mars. We were discussing Mars specifically. Freaking Zhuge Liang vibes. No, wait, wrong person. Who am I thinking of? Wait, is that right? I don't remember which character I'm thinking of. This is fucked up. I like how Morphling still has the base model under the set. I like this one. This one's cool. I hate the wings though. Look at his face, bro! This is fucking Lubu. This is copy-pasted Lubu. Who am I calling? I gotta call someone.